Hey, thanks for joining us today on whichever platform you're watching this video. We got your Thursday prayer challenge, and I'm thinking I might want to change the name because before, earlier in the pandemic, they were kind of these prayer challenges where they were like easier or like different ways to pray that you may have never thought of. Now it's kind of morphed up. We bought this 5 things to pray in your city book. They've kind of morphed into more prayer prompts, but I like keeping it consistent. But I'm recognizing that challenges might not be the right name for these videos anymore. Anyways, so this book, 5 Things to Pray for Your City, the theme right now is rest, and it all comes from Hebrews chapter 4, and it's verses 1 through 13. So take these prayers, and wherever you're watching this video, you can adapt it for your city or your town, whether you live someplace massive or you live someplace small. We all are facing these types of things. And all of them, each theme has 5 prayer prompts or so, and I always pick out the 2 that really I think are really good and talk on them and we can pray to. So the first one that I pulled out is for rest in the city. And this one is based on verse 10, and it says, "For anyone who enters God's rest also rests from their work, just as God did from his." And then it says, "Despite a huge leisure industry and many labor-saving innovations, city life is often fraught and busy. Pray that as someone who has entered God's rest, you would have a good pattern of work and rest in your life. Pray for wisdom about how much work you should do and for guidance on what to say yes and no to." That prayer prompt I pulled out. I love the last sentence, that concrete thing. I think any believer anywhere in the world, you can benefit from that prayer of asking God for wisdom of how much should I actually do, right? There's so many idols in American culture right now of like busyness and doing more and doing more. And if you're not doing, you're a failure. And if your schedule is not packed, and it's like, okay, well, that's culture. What's God's wisdom? So I think that's an amazing prayer. Explore that. The other one that I have pulled out, I pulled on because this one definitely conflicted me. I would say, if I'm honest, this is something that I struggle with or didn't even realize that I struggle with. It was kind of like an eye-opening. And this one is called Leisure in this City. And it's from verse 13. And it says, "Nothing in all creation is hidden from God's sight." And he says, "Our hobbies and leisure time are under God's authority. We can't compartmentalize our spare time as something belonging to ourselves. It too is God's. Pray that you and every Christian would use all your time in a way that honors him." And that spoke to me. I mean, I am very much someone who thinks like, okay, work as if working for God and not for man, and putting effort into things because I believe that's a way of worshiping God and giving glory to God. But then I'm like, man, when it's time to relax or do my hobbies, I don't still carry that mindset, and this definitely conflicted me. So I'm going to be working on that prayer, and I hope that this inspires you for a prayer as well. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for joining us for our Thursday prayer challenge.